This new meta ads setting changes everything. Let's get into it. All right, so I'm just in my ads manager, and what we're going to be talking about today is incremental attribution settings in Facebook. Now, I've just started using this, and I'll be going into full detail and showing this as well and how you can set this up for yourself. It is very easy. But firstly, what is attribution settings? Well, attribution settings is basically, incremental attribution settings, pardon me, is instead of standard, where it's more, I guess, static, incremental, as the name suggests, is it's more incremental. A lot of the time people go and they will go on Facebook and they will, then you run retargeting ads and you'll get conversions, right? That's how that always works. But incremental works extremely well, especially for e-commerce brands, because a lot of the time people will go on Google, they will do their research, they will then go on your socials, go and do their research, or they might go on your website, get an email, they might not convert, they get the abandoned cart email, and then they convert via email marketing a lot of the time, or SMS marketing, or as I said, other remarketing platforms like Google. Incremental attribution allows that to be more factored in. So what's going to be happening is Facebook now has more data points where you can actually, now they can pick up that attribution based on the click over a longer period of time. Now, in past videos, I'll put it up there, that you can go check out that, where I've spoken about secret methods to look into the ads manager to get a more overview of your ads. So today we're going to go into just a few of this and how to do it. Now, why this is really important is incremental compared to standard gives you a more holistic view. Okay, it is very important because it helps you to justify that you might be paying more for a purchase, but you're getting a better value customer or a better ROAS overall, okay? Because historically you've had to use a lot of tools like Google Analytics, and you have to be a really big expert in Google Analytics and data analytics to really look at that incremental, whereas now Facebook, using AI, machine learning, and their billions of data points, is able to present that in the ads manager for you. So I've been using this, and I'm moving a lot of my ad sets, especially for e-commerce. Works better for e-commerce than I find SaaS, but works extremely well for e-commerce I've found so far, that you can enable that. So what you'll need to do is you'll probably need to, if you run an existing ad account, you'll need to duplicate and then change it, because you can't change it once it's already run, once you've already got a running ad set. And I always suggest doing split testing. You always want to duplicate it. And two, you need to have the right settings in the ads manager. So let's go straight into it today, and I'm going to show you then one of the ad accounts where I'm going to show you a bit about the attribution and what it sort of looks like. But let's get straight into that so we can have a bit better of a discussion. So firstly, you've got attribution settings. You don't worry about third party. A lot of the time you might be using tools like Triple Whale, there's WeTracked, just to name a few. I can't remember the others, but you've got incremental attribution here, and you want to go all conversions or first conversions. I want to see every conversion that happened after a click or ad, or only see it after the first ad. But for me, I do that, and now I've started to just have a look at all of these. One day engaged view. So one day engaged view accounted when a skippable video ad is played for at least 10 seconds or 90% of its video length is shorter than 10 seconds and someone has taken action. So that's one I've started using as well, because UGC content is becoming bigger and bigger. As you've seen in my previous videos, you can check them here, that I've spoken a lot about the future with Facebook and creator-led content. UGC is very important. So this one day view engaged is very important, and I'll show you a real ad account running ads to sort of talk about that further. But I wanted to talk about that. You've got one day click. So one day conversions accounted after someone has taken an action within 1 day of an ad click. 7 day, same thing, but after 7 days. 28 days, same thing after 28 days. And one day view conversions accounted after someone has taken action within 1 day of an ad impression. Okay, so 1 day click, so if someone's clicked it, if someone's viewed it, so maybe not clicked it, but viewed it and taken an action, that's the difference. You can apply them, and it'll automatically apply it to all existing columns that you have set. I don't know why it hasn't, especially around the results. So you can see here we've got all of them here. Obviously this is a test ad account. We don't have it there. I'll go into a real ad account in a moment, but I wanted to show you how to do this. Now, if we go into a campaign, you don't do it at the campaign level, you do it at the ad set level. You go edit, And naturally you're going to go website for most times, maximum number of conversions. You're going to go choose your event, so purchase, okay. So you always, as I said, aim for purchase. It always applies well. As I said in previous video, you spoke about value rules, which is really important. This will tie into it. Value rules help with getting pushing the ads more to your ideal demographics for the most part and location, and helps with the LTV. So you go into then the ad set, we go edit, we go down, you got your value rules. We've spoken about that. You set it to maximum number of conversions, your pixel and purchase is what I generally do. You can set your value rules, which allows you to then focus your budget automatically on the key demographics, age, gender, location, and placement. I don't really do placement. And then you've got your attribution settings. You can see here incremental attribution. This is where you enable it. Optimize delivery for incremental conversions using sophisticated models that predict whether a conversion is caused by an ad. So again, we don't know all the specifics of it, but Facebook have all this machine learning and data that they can use that. So you just enable it there. That's as simple as it gets, right? So that's pretty much all you need to do there. Now let's go into an ad account and let's talk a bit about further so you can actually see a live view of what that looks like. All right, so I'm just in an existing ad account that is running ads as we speak, and I wanted to show you how you set up the columns as well as the attribution. I've shown you sort of how to do that. You just duplicate if you're running an existing ad account. If you're running it new, you'll probably want to start as standard. Incremental, you'll probably want to move to once you have some learning. It usually just sort of works better. It's a bit of a training phase. But let's have a look here, right? You got one day click. So clicks are usually going to be higher than views because the amount of people that view and then convert will always be less than click. It's just sort of further down the funnel. And then 7 day, 28 day, and then incremental. Now you can sort of see here that incremental attribution enables optimization reporting based on conversions. It uses the sophisticated all conversions count every measurable conversion that has happened after someone viewed. So you can see that what we're looking at here more now is with Facebook Summit, they've really focused a lot on incremental AI, incremental attribution, AI, and UGC. We won't get into the UGC today, but you can see that very much the more you look at things over the long term, the more you see that generally things are better, right? So the most important thing you really want to look at is these last ones, the 7, 28, and incremental. You can see that incremental here, it's actually lower for this campaign, hence I turned it off. It was a testing campaign, it failed miserably. But if you have a look here, you can see that 1 day, 2.1, 3.5, 3.77, 3.93, 1.1, 3.06, 3.7, 3.95. And the incremental attribution just ties more into that, where it will make those long-term attributions even better. So getting a lot better ROAS. And again, if you look at, like I've always said, the more purchases you get, the better the ROAS. Okay, so the more purchases, so if we have a look here, 75 to 71, and then if we scroll across, 75, 71. Okay, and then if we look at 76, 67, that's why 76, 67, right? So the more purchases you get, the better the ROAS, okay? And the more that you can see with incremental attribution, the better your results and justification will be. If you were to have a look here, right, you can actually see that this campaign hasn't done that well, right? It hasn't compared to the others, which I turned it off. But you can see after 28 days, it's actually performed a lot better, okay? So the point is, it really sort of gives you a holistic view. I'm moving entirely to incremental attribution and Advantage Plus. I strongly recommend you do that. And basically what this will allow you to do is you're running a more dynamic, optimized, AI-driven ad account where you can then be focusing on other areas of your business. I've always said you should be focusing on the other areas of your business, your email marketing, Google ads, referral marketing, influence marketing. But then with this, now you can actually attribute it more back to Facebook, right? Whereas in the past, it's a lot more static. You still keep doing the same strategy I've always said, but now with this, your data is going to be even more clean and crisp. Okay, so this is something that I think will definitely, Facebook will be pushing probably by default more long-term over the coming years, especially because this is relatively new technology. Not all ad accounts have this, but I strongly recommend that if you're already spending to start duplicating ad sets and then testing this, right? Because you will see that, especially as I've said, you're running a lot of ads across marketing, across multiple channels, especially in e-commerce. you will find that this helps you justify and get more incremental results. Now, on top of this as well, then there's the other thing about further conversion tracking, right? To further help this as well. You can use plenty of tools out there. There's Aliva, there's Triple Whale, there's WeTrack. I'm also building one of these because I actually now really see that the future is omni-channel marketing even more, as well as incremental attribution, and really trying to streamline, because managing the events manager is quite difficult unless you're a developer to sort of set it up correctly. But tools like that can help further with that, and it ties strongly into this where you have even more clear data. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope this helps. Like, this stuff is definitely the future. I'm trying to present the latest stuff I'm always finding and testing myself. If you did enjoy today's video, be sure to like, share, subscribe. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely day. Take care and goodbye.